Well, good morning, Capel Early Childhood PTA. I am Lorraine Brock. I'm a professional organizer and owner of a company called Get Organized. Yeah, and that means I organize clutter and I organize people's closets and kitchens and paper clutter and absolutely kid stuff as well. So make sure you get your cup of coffee, hot chocolate, or tea and get cozy up here around your monitor or phone. And we're going to dive in today to get some tips on getting organized, especially with those kiddos. So while everyone's jumping on, I'm going to tell a little bit about my background and sort of where I'm at in my season of life and let everyone have some time to jump on. So I started Get Organized about 14 years ago. It was just myself and I had a passion to educate people on getting organized. And that's things like time management, meal planning, kids' chores, allowance systems, foundations, if you will, for actually staying organized. Started speaking, doing a lot of PTA, doing a lot of women's ministry groups, businesses, and it went great. And then all of a sudden, people said, "Hey, Lorraine, I hear you talking about it, girl, but can you actually come and do it?" So I was like, okay, that was never my original intention, but it worked. So I started actually physically organizing people's homes, and then I obviously was continuing the speaking, which I still do today. Love it. I love the education component of helping people stay organized. It's one thing to read it in a book or to see it on a TV show or to go to a store and buy lots of pretty cute containers, but where are the foundations for staying organized, right? So we fast forward, we were doing organizing for the home, and then we decided to expand into small businesses like, cupcake places, bakeries, laundry, dry cleaning places. Then it went into senior downsizing, packing, unpacking, complete move-in turnkey services, Christmas decorating, fall decorating, and now IT organization. That means all your video, your digital clutter, getting it up on the cloud, organizing where you can find it. It's a crazy industry, but so much needed. And then I launched my second business, which sort of mirrors Get Organized, to Get Cleaned. We have a Get Organized and Get Clean, a house cleaning service. But we service all of Dallas-Fort Worth for the organizing and a limited area in the North Dallas area for the cleaning services. So absolutely love what I do, and the cleaning and organizing goes together. So I've been married about 33 years. I have 3 adult sons. I have a 28-year-old married with 3 kids. I have a 27-year-old about to, he just got his first full-time job. He's launching. It's great. And then I have one 24 at home that just finished 6 years in the military, and he's finished up some college before he goes out on his own. So loving the season of life. But you guys are probably most of you are in those younger years, and the home can get quite cluttered, quite messy. And so a little bit about my view on getting organized. I am not a perfectionist. I am not someone that has to have the house immaculate and there's no clutter anywhere or things are always put back. Now, my home is very, very organized. You can open cabinets, you can open doors, you'll see evidence, but I'm not a perfectionist. And I think with a perfectionist attitude, you focus on one thing so intensely that you let the other stuff have all this clutter and it's disorganized. But that one little thing is great. So what I have my perspective is hit everything, but not with a perfectionist mindset. That way I can have a lot of things really well organized, but they're not perfect, which is okay for me. So that's sort of my mentality. I do love things to look beautiful, but I always tell our clients that function has to come first. If you do not have function and you're just after the beauty, it will not stay organized because it's really not organized for you. It's organized for, for looks. That's what it's organized for. So I want you to keep in mind today as we journey through this, how to keep your home organized with kids. We're going to talk about some products that are out there. And then I'm going to talk about ending with all of what we struggle with kids, either doodling and drawing and doing paperwork at home, or they're launching into their elementary years. You're going to have paper clutter. And we're going to talk a little bit in depth about organizing kids' school papers. And that might look a little different right now, but many of us have years past of those, always when they started drawing their first thing, whatever that thing was. And then obviously as life returns, then we're going to obviously have more paperwork again. So we're going to talk about that. And another thing I will make sure you know is because of the world issues right now, you want to make sure that some of these products that I'm going to show you may not always be available, but there's often ones that look very much similar to them or can function the same. So make sure if the exact product is not in stock and you're not willing to wait, often there is another solution. I will say that I'm not doing it right now, but I've done it in the past. And we just recently took a pause because of my schedule with my cleaning company. But I normally do what's called Tip Tuesday. It's a Facebook Live every Tuesday on our Facebook. We're taking about a 2-month break. And it's all about products. It's all about a tip for something in your home, business, or life that will help you get organized. So often you will pick up additional products and ideas off of that, including some things that we're going to be talking about kids. So let's jump in and get started with today's about organizing kids. So here's my deal with the home. The home is obviously got kids in it. It's living. Everyone's living in the home. So here's what I would suggest. And again, age appropriate. You have to decide when this is appropriate for your kids. But by 4 or 5 years old, they should be able to pick up pretty good in the areas that they are playing in. And then additional responsibilities. For sure, kindergarten. I mean, think of all the things they do in kindergarten. And there's normally one teacher and maybe a helper with 20-something kids in the room. And that room stays organized, right? So it can be done at home. More structure is needed often and some systems set up. So this is going to show backwards because we're on the phone, but I'm going to tell you what this is. So this says zone 1. And zone 1, I have 3 zones here, and you can make your zones whatever you want to make your zones. So keep in mind, these are zones in the house. This zone right here says kitchen counters, dining room, table. So that is one zone in my house that I've sort of established that is a zone that one kid is going to inherit keeping up that zone. Okay. The other zone here is it says family room and playroom. Again, whatever your areas in your home are, make sure that you put those areas in that zone. So you get to make a collection of whatever those rooms are for each zone. And the third zone here says entry, stairs, and guest bathroom. Again, you make sure whatever those are. What I want here in this is I want to help you guys have what we call a no drama pickup. That means no whining, no complaining, no saying, well, I didn't leave that mess. I didn't do that. Bobby did that. Or Sally did that. We just want each member of the family, and it can be each member of the family, for sure the kids, to actually have a zone in their home that when mom or dad says, hey guys, go to your zones and pick them up, there's like scatter. They're just scattering, right? The lights are on, they're gone. And they are in their zone picking up whatever's out. That means pushing in chairs, removing trash, picking up toys. And you may have to teach them what that looks like, what really pick up looks like in that zone for your home. But if company's coming over real quick or the clutter is just got you really crazy and you're all stressed out, The zone thing is really good because it does cut down on the drama of having to say, I didn't do that, or that's not my space, or whatever. So zone out your homes and give everyone, and I would probably do just the main areas. I probably wouldn't say it's their bedroom. I believe it needs to be the main living areas, things that are more community areas or common areas in the household. That would be the areas that I would stick to for the zone. Now, another thing you can do as far as picking up other areas, and I've got a little stash over here, so if you see me lean in, give me a second. I may be right back. I've got to get all my goodies out. So nighttime pickup, really one of the things. So when we go into people's homes, I'm trying to figure out their system. You know, what door they come in, where the kids put their stuff. Is there a nightly pickup? Where does mom put her purse? I'm looking at that family and how they live and function and their habits and their tendencies. That's going to make the biggest impact on the decisions I would recommend for their home. One of the things we often see is that mom and dad do not have a bedtime routine. Now, some of you guys are great. You know, pick up, put up, take your bath, brush your teeth, read a book, get in bed. Great. But a lot of people don't. Or they do, and they have a few things they need to do, but they let the kids go to bed with the playroom a disaster or their bedroom a disaster. And when you take one night, it's not so big deal, but night after night after night, it just makes that area worse and worse. So I would actually take whatever your bedtime is and back it up to see what the kids need to actually get their stuff put up. So I would make nightly pickup of their room or playroom area a nightly routine for getting ready in the morning. It could also include picking out their clothes for the next day. Now, that may be a topic we talk a little bit back on in just a little bit when we get to some closet ideas. But that would be something that I would most likely include in their nighttime routine, is backing that time up and then determining, how much time they need. Some people are a little bit slower. Some kids are a little bit faster at picking up. Now, most kids say, well, I don't know where it belongs, so they just put it where it fits. I think all of us adults sometimes put things where it fits. We call it the shove fest. You just sort of shove it where it fits. Because it's so, right now, the goal is just to get it up and off the counters. So maybe some organization of the kids' room is in store where things are labeled and identified. If they're too young, use pictures, clip art. Really good. You can laminate it, do a little hole punch or Velcro, just something that would keep those pictures on there that they know where things go. So that will help if you're going to organize their room to actually label things so they can know where it needs to go. But again, pick up and put up in the nighttime routine would be a great start for getting that organized. Let's talk a little bit about toys a little bit. I'm of the mindset that too many toys are often available in the homes for the younger kids, and therefore they get bored of them. They get out the next toy and they get bored of it and they leave it out, and it's just this cycle where all the toys are out now and it's a bigger mess, and often a lot of the stress between the parent and the child to pick up. So what I would suggest is, and you can do this in many different ways, is decide 7 sets of toys that may not be their favorite, but 7 sets of toys that can be put up and only one of them get out every week. So let's just, a very basic mental image of this would be 7 shoe boxes. Now you can do larger men's shoe boxes. You can do actually larger totes. You can do fabric boxes. Whatever your envision is for that would go with the room. But what you'll do is take 7 of the containers, and in each container will be numbered or will be labeled Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 7 days of the week. And whatever toys are in that container, they get to pull out that day because they haven't seen them in like a week. And they're very excited to see those specific toys in that container. The other containers they can't open until that day. Now, there is plenty of toys that are out in the room still. We're not putting all of their toys in containers. So you get to decide what those mean. So maybe Army Men are on Sunday, and maybe My Little Pony is on Wednesday, whatever. And you get to decide what those are. But it helps eliminate so many toys out at one time. And it really does something really great. They actually look forward to those toys. They want to play with them more that day because they haven't seen them in a week. So think about something like that. I know we're past Christmas, though it's coming again. When you get gifts, and this will apply to birthdays too. When you get gifts, Christmas or for like birthdays, if the child gets a lot of gifts, I would suggest after they have unwrapped the packaging that they don't actually get to unwrap all the packaging with the toys inside. Like they get to see what it looks like, but definitely not take everything out of the packing. That means you might have in our home that could be, 10 to 12 toys or gifts per child. And again, everything's everywhere again. So what we do is we suggest to our clients that they can take 5 or 6 toys and be able to completely open them and play with them. And the rest we keep the name tag on it, or I write a marker sometimes for the client on the actual box. And then we put them up in a shelf. It could be in a bin. It can just be laying on a shelf, but basically the child can't get to it. And then once a month, I tell the client to take down the item for the child, the new gift that hasn't been used. And they get to remember, and you do too, who gave them that gift. So they really appreciate it, and they get to play with that new toy for that month. And sometimes, depending on how many gifts your child gets, that could be one toy for the entire year, brand new every month. You look like a rock star because all these gifts that you're giving them, they're associating with, this is, fun thing. Mom's giving this to me, but they also get to appreciate where it came from, who actually gave it to them versus just, tearing everything open and you remember for the moment and then you don't. So again, a couple ideas there to keep the toys reduced, and happy to elaborate on that more if you want to towards the end. All right, so another thing you can do, stuffed animals seems to be a really big problem in people's home. And I want to show you this. I got this a while back at Walmart. You can find them, I'm assuming you can find them still at Walmart, but definitely Amazon, as you know. And this is called a plush animal bag. And they come in all different fabrics. So if you have a particular theme in your child's room, it would look great. So it's just a plush fabric bag that you can take all of the stuffed animals for their room and put it inside of the bag, and the bag zips up. I want to say it was like $12. They can be more. The bottom of it is just a mesh, see-through mesh, and then the actual top is the fabric. And it's a pretty big bag, and it's like a bean bag. It's what it is. It zips on top, and you stuff all the animals in it, and it becomes double duty. It becomes a storage for the stuffed animal, but it also becomes a reading chair or a reading bag or something to sit on. And it takes the place of a lot of stuffed animals just hanging out and taking up a complete corner that's really unusable. The zipper on this one from Walmart is really heavy duty. I like it. I mean, you can definitely tell they've invested in a good quality zipper so those kids don't go in there and just mess it up. Good sewing, really tight stitching in here. I have been most pleased with this. I really like the ones that come in different styles and checkerboard and paisley and all kinds of chevron. Again, just an option, but wow, what an option to help with those stuffed animals. And I'm sure you guys will find something just for your kids' room. Another thing you can do with the kids, we talked about like a nightly routine, is just taking some kind of pillowcase, giving them a pillowcase, keeping them at your ready, because you never know when you're going to need it. I wouldn't just keep some and keep folding them and putting back in your linen closet. Keep them at the ready for us moms and dads that need a good pick up, right? So take a pillowcase and make it a game. Like set the timer for like 5 minutes or 3 minutes and see how many toys they can pick up in their pillowcase. And then set the timer again to put up. Again, everyone needs a little motivation. I'm okay. When you're potty training, I'm okay with giving the M&M when you potty in the water, because I'm like, if you do a good job on a job, don't you get bonuses and raises and extra little things? So everyone's motivated by something, and you got to figure out what your kids are motivated for. But anyway, this is a really good, simple way that you can also help pick up at night or anytime, even during the day. And I've always what do I have in my holster today that I can just, motivate you and get you to do it without any drama, right? I love that. So I keep it at the ready. We're going to talk a little bit now about actually, let me finish with this one. I'll do this one before I get to the closet. So this is just a garment bag. You've seen these. You can get them at the dollar store real cheap. I like a little bit more quality ones, so I get them at Walmart. And this actually has socks in it, just different socks. And I'm going to tell you something we've always done with our 3 sons when they were growing up, and still do it to this day to some degree, is if socks is a real big issue for you to keep up, socks to me is like the matching game. Just like the little kids that are 3, 4, 5 years old, they play that matching game, they turn over the card. Socks is very similar to that, because you can take all the socks from the family, and as they are washed and dried, just put them in a basket or bin in the laundry room. And then once a week, have the kids, whoever's in charge of the socks for that period of time, and that would be considered a chore to me, that they get to take all the socks and they can lay them out in the living room and match the ones that go together and take them to everybody's room. Boy, that has been a saver from my life. Can I just say that has been a real blessing to have my socks delivered already matched, and I don't have to worry about that little tedious job. And that way they help out as a family too. The other thing you can do is one of these garment bags is every time you can have one for each kid. And my husband does this today. He actually has a garment bag. It's actually on a hanger just like this one. And we use some clips in his closet so it stays up. Now don't make this really tight, because you can't open it and put the dirty socks in there. So make the opening a little loose here so his hand can go in there or her hand can go in there. And this just hangs up. And so when I do laundry, and again, obviously kid would have to be able to reach it, I just take this and I zip it up and I throw it in the washer and I throw it in the dryer. And then I just dump the socks back into my husband's drawer. With a kid, you can just say, here's your bag, match your own socks. So this is really good if you have little babies too, because the little baby socks get all in the laundry, in your pants leg. Ooh, what's this down here? It's the kid's sock, right? But yes, this is a great solution, is to use the garment bag for each person's socks. And then you wash them, you dry them, and you give it back to them. And it keeps everything really well organized and helps with getting the laundry done a little bit faster. So little tip there. Another tip for the laundry, and I'm going to go back to my first tip where it can go in a basket or bin, and then the kid plays the matching game. If everybody has the same kind of socks, especially the kids, let's say in my case, I had all boys. There were no pink socks or pastel socks or striped glitter socks in my house, not for my boys. So what you can do is take like a permanent marker and like a Sharpie, and you could add dots to the bottom of the sock. So 1 dot would be the first kid, 2 dots would be the second, 3 dots would be the third, so forth. And they don't wash out. And that means when your child is matching the socks, they can actually look at the dot and say, well, here's the dots for 1 dot. Here's the pile for 1 dot. Here's the pile for 2 dots, 3 dots. And then they match the socks from those piles. Again, that's if they have a lot of the same socks in your family. I'm just giving you options. You decide what will work best for your household. All right. That's excellent there. Let me move some of this stuff here. I love organization, guys. It is just, I can tell you, and let me give you a little bit of a glimpse into why organization is so necessary and so beneficial to your finances. Everyone knows in Texas that we went through this ice Arctic storm, right? The best defense against chaos, and I'm talking any kind of chaos. That means chaos with your home getting out of whack, clutter everywhere, your kids' discipline, your finances, or in this case, being prepped for the Arctic storm. The best defense against chaos is preparation. That means you've got to prepare for what hasn't happened but will happen, or that is happening now. Preparation. People think that probably sometimes I'm a little loony because I'm a little bit of a prepper. Not massive, but definitely a little bit of a prepper. And so while I was definitely cold, we were out of electricity for like 4 days outside of maybe 1 hour every 12 hours we had it. We had fuel cans. We had propane. We had camping stoves. I mean, we were prepped and we always had that stuff. So the best defense against chaos is being prepared and having a system or something in place. So I always look at how can I get my household to run smoother? How can I get, not be so busy all the time? I'm looking at problem solving those things in my area. And there are seasons that our house is crazy and there's seasons that I've overbooked, but it is not the norm. It's the exception to the rule. So think about the best defense against chaos is preparation, and what preparation in your home do you need to get? All right, so we're going to keep going here. This is a clear shoe organizer, which is great. You can get these at Container Store, and I would highly recommend only getting these for the Container Store. Outstanding shoe organizers, but we rarely in the organizing industry use them for shoes. We actually use them for everything else, like back of laundry room doors. We put stain stick, batteries, screwdrivers. We have some property at a house out in the country, and we keep everything in here from earbuds when we're out shooting on the range, or we have here like firelight starters. We have duct tape. They work for leashes, sunscreen, kids' clothing, socks, underwear. Kids, hubby's wallet, keys. Great. You can use them for all sorts of things. They're not just for dorms and shoes. So again, $15 Container Store, really well sewn, and it will last you a lot longer than the cheaper ones like you find like at Walmart. All right, this I wanted to show you guys for the closet too. This is what do I call this? This is a garment rod extender. It has two metal hooks right here. So there's no insulation required. It's just you hang it over your existing rod in your closet. And then this rod down here actually allows you to hang clothes on it. So let's say you had, clothes hanging at the top of your closet and say shirts and pants. You could take those pants and bring them down and hang them here. So it creates like a double rod in your closet. And you can hang stuff down here. I'm trying to do this really well so you guys can see. Now, one thing I like about this, and you can get it at a Container Store, it's about $19 normally. Sometimes it does go on sale. This is incredible. Look how long this extends here. It's garment rod extender. Really, really long. You don't see this in normal ones. They're very stiff, they're very stationary, and they don't expand. So really awesome product. In addition to that, if you have clothes that are up high in your kids' closet and you want them to reach their clothes, we talked about a little bit about sorting their clothes, maybe setting them out for a week at a time or organizing what they're going to wear. You can come in here and on the bottom, maybe just hang the clothes they're going to wear. Again, just options. You might not hang any of their clothes, but this right here on each side, actually, it makes it longer or shorter. So you can raise it up or you can lower the length of this from where it's hooked at the top. So I love it. We've used it a lot to help maximize space in people's closets. And it's a great product for closets. And it could be a a coat closet that you're turning into something else, but it has to be things that are shorter in nature. But again, that garment expands both ways, so you can change it to as your kids grow. I love it. All right, so one of the things I wanted to bring out too is I'm going to talk about kids' school papers after this, and then we'll finish on that. I'm not going to get into car organization too much, but there's a couple things. We have an outstanding document for car organization, and it has basically everything you would want to keep in your car to really be prepped and ready for emergencies or just life. If you guys want to email us through our website, we'll make sure you get it. The website is getorganized.ws. So WS stands for website. So getorganized.ws, and we'll see that you get that. And that will even help with kids stuff too, like first aid, sunscreen. But one of these things are really something to keep things organized in your car. With kids, they tend to have everything, right? Little toys, little books, things like that. And you can find these things on Amazon. You can find them at the Container Store. And again, I think they're really, really cute. I even have a product that I got from Amazon that actually mounts to these rods right here in your headrest. And it's two little, basically hooks that come out. But the hooks actually allow a phone to be mounted there if they wanted to watch a movie or something in the back. And also you could use it to hold grocery bags. It's just a cool thing. Anything to help keep everything off the floorboard and make it more organized in the car. So again, you want that car organizational letter, make sure you email us from our website and we'll make sure that we email it to you. All right, let's finish up on kids' school papers. So I'm going to tell you a system that I started. I didn't read it anywhere. I started this myself when my kids were in school, and it worked flawlessly. Now, I've perfected a little bit more from when I started it. But basically, there is 3 areas for kids' school papers. There's 3 types of kids' school papers. There is artwork. Really simple. Small, large artwork. There is what we call everyday school papers. And everyday school papers would be like a spelling test or, I don't know, just any kind of written, practicing their ABCs, handwriting type documents, anything that is just everyday school papers. Maybe there's a great comment or 100 or star, 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 whatever. And that is that section. And then the third one is what we call portfolio. And it is something that you can start wherever your kid is now in school. And the goal is for it to benefit you and your child as they get older and get ready for their first job or going into college. Now, I know that blows some of your minds right now. You're not even thinking that far. But remember, the best defense against what? Chaos is what? Preparation. So think out a little bit. So here, I'm going to start with the portfolio, because it's my favorite thing. A portfolio this is just a mock one. This name says Callie's Portfolio, and it is just a binder. It's probably a 1.5 inch binder. You could do a 2. Mom, your dad, you guys are going to keep this up. Your kids won't. And inside of it is just sheet protectors. This says a certificate of excellence. This is a concert they were in when they played a musical instrument. It could be something from Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, anything that's accomplishment that makes them stand out. It could be the STARS testing scores. It could be if you print out any of their report cards, if you have perfect attendance, if they get an award for good citizenship, and so forth. Eventually, science fair contest, all that kind of stuff will be in here. And the beginning of the binder is the beginning of their school career. And of course, it goes all the way. You'll just put things in here all the way till their 12th grade year. This shows everything of their accomplishments. So when you get ready for that part-time job, you can easily build a resume. This would go for extracurricular activities at church or at some place, some kind of organization they're involved with. One year, my son got was a junior camper at his church. Wasn't an adult camper, but he was too young or too old to go to camp, but definitely was old enough to help. And he got a little certificate showing he was a junior counselor. And we put that in there. That helps show leadership skills, right? And someone allowed you to do that and you were helpful. So you build this portfolio and then you're going to use it as they get older down the road, but you will forget when your kids were involved, what things they were involved with, and it will make your kid stand out amongst the many, because not only is everything geared towards academic grades, it's also geared towards community service and character. And I will tell you, your kid will stand out and you'll be so organized, and just start putting those special little awards and certificates inside of this. And you'll say, well, how does a kindergarten or a first grade certificate really benefit them in 12th grade? If there's a history of outstanding something, you could go back and say, the last 12 years, our kid has, been nominated or been awarded character awards, or maybe he's outstanding or she is at science and they stand out. So again, and then at the very least, everything that's really, really special that makes them stand out is all in that binder. Okay. So the other thing is artwork. And I like this because it really has been a solution. There's a couple things I don't like about it, and I'll talk about it, but I get this. There is one on Amazon. This one, of course, this is an older one, so the look has changed a little bit, but the function is the same. I got this one at the Lakeshore Teacher Learning Center on the Tollway, and you can get them for probably anywhere from $20 to $15-ish. But it's an accordion. You don't find this very much. It's an accordion type dividers in here. I wish it had a lock or a top that you could, pin down, but it doesn't. You'll keep this behind a headboard or behind a dresser. You only will get it out once a year when you go through all these kids' school papers at the end of the school year. So this is not something that you're going to get and do every day. But you can organize it. Let's say your kid is 4 years old right now. You can organize it by age, 4 years old, then kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and it will get through all your kids' school years. And then you can do small and larger things like this type of stuff in here that you can see, and then smaller things can go in here. So one of these per child, not all the children together. And they each have their own. Some of them have a little picture here. You could put a picture of your child in there. Not necessary, but it is there. So the other thing, that's the artwork. We had the portfolio, and this is the everyday school papers. This is just a gold tone envelope that basically says the name of the child, the school year, like whatever year they were in, and then the grade level, like first grade, whatever. And I put all the everyday school papers in here, and I use a gold tone envelope with our clients because it gives them a threshold. Like, you've already got your artwork, you've already got your portfolio, all the papers that you want to keep need to be able to fit in here, the everyday school papers. And you may not even want any of them, but a few of the things that come to mind is like journals when they get older, or their first handwriting paper, or writing their name. Those things, I'm not an overkeeper, but I'm not an underkeeper. And eventually they're going to all get handed to my kids. I'm going to give them all their papers and they can decide what they want to do with them. But anyway, so the gold tone. So when I'm done with the gold tone, I actually have a box up in my attic, or you can keep them in your garage or a back closet, a container that has all the envelopes from all their school career, but just the important things are in here. Now, and I'll end with this. These are all great systems, but let's talk about how the system works. So the kids need to have what we call a holding tank. And a holding tank is a container, preferably with a lid. We kept ours out in our garage, but IKEA has a great recycled cream color container that is sort of, it's wide and has a front like this, like an angled lid, and it raises up. They have two sizes. We always get the small size. And you can put their name, even stencil their name, or just print out their name right on the top lip that raises. And these containers stack. You can use Sterilite plastic drawers that pull out. They're in like sections of 3, or each individual drawer stacked on top. Walmart. And you just want to take every school paper that comes in. You want to just have them, after you've looked over it, put it in their holding tank. One holding tank per child. So we had 3 in our home because we had 3 sons. And just leave it there, because what really slows down parents is the oh, I need to look at that. I need to go through it and see what I want to keep. And then the pile just keeps getting bigger. And this is what really happens. So you're like, oh, these are really nice papers here. I've got to find time to use them. I'll just want to set them right here. Right there. I'll just keep them and I'll just look for, thank you. I'll get to them. Got it. Okay. And then, oh, guess what? More papers have come in and you're like, oh, this is really cute. Did you do this? You did. This is awesome. Okay. We're going to lay this right here and Mama will take care of it and look at that. And then all of a sudden we're coming, oh, you brought some more home. And now company is coming and this is all on my kitchen table. I'm going to put it over here in the washer, on top of the washer. That'll be good. Now my table looks really awesome, right? Now it's laundry day. And you're like, ugh, where am I going to put them now? I don't have time to look at them. And that's exactly how it is. And this paper just sort of floats through the house until you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I got to do something with it. So keep those holding tanks. Don't worry about what you're going to keep. Don't make any decisions and put those papers in that holding tank. And then sometimes during the summer months, one child at a time, go through all those papers, decide on what you want to keep, and then it will go into one of those 3 sections, either artwork, portfolio, or it will go in those everyday school paper system and then put them in the places they need to go. So I'm not even sure if I can take questions on here or not. I have no idea. But if you can't leave a question, then feel free to email your question through my website too. And I will definitely get back to you. Give me a few days. Would absolutely love to make sure you understand this system because it is so good to keep control of all the kids' school papers and artwork. Some said even if they're not in school yet, they will be. And they're probably already doodling and making letters and all those things now, even at home or daycare or some kind of, maybe even church. We see tons of kids bring things home from church that they worked on. The parents want to keep it. So it is just a great way to be prepared with a system that will make a huge impact on keeping the paper clutter under control with your kids. Well, guys, I guess that's out of time today and out of some organizing ideas. So thanks for having me today. And again, email us through our website for more information. And I'm Lorraine Brock with Get Organized, helping you get everything organized, guys. Have a great day.